Hello and welcome to Hindustan Times Online, Desi Martini. My name is Sandeep, and today I have with me director Ritesh Batra and the wonderful, and obviously very beautiful Sanya Malhotra for the film Photograph. Hello to the two of you.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Good.
And
How
you,
are
what
you?
about
Hello,
you?
I'm good.
So Ritesh, I'd like to begin from you. The fact that your dad's is a merchant navy is a merchant navy person. Your mum's a homemaker. You're born and brought up in Bombay.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. So
Close
how the entire idea or the dream of or how did you harbor the dream of becoming a filmmaker?
I never thought. I always wanted to do it since I was a kid. I didn't think it was possible.
I see.
So I kept it to myself for a long time.
Exactly, an economics graduate from the Drake University. You dropped it all for a career in films.
Yeah, I was very bad at it. So
Okay.
the thing is that I don't know how to do anything else. Everything else I've tried, I've been really bad at. So when I got a chance, I worked for 2 years after college, almost three, and then I started applying to film school.
I see.
And then I was very lucky to get in a good place.
Mhm.
But I didn't finish that either.
Yeah,
but
you were
no,
a dropout.
Yeah. So it's nice, nice to be a dropout. It sounds very sexy. No, but it was something I always wanted to do. But then I just found my own way into it. A long way into it.
Sanya, you tell me. Okay.
You're gonna do this for the whole.
All right. Okay. Great. Sanya, you tell me. Matlab your career exactly.
Yeah.
Your career is going great guns. You've done wonderful films, and your performances have been lauded, and they've really been appreciated. So, with the fact that
Thank you.
photograph again, do you think it would add an extra feather to your cap?
Um, I don't know, but I'm really proud of the film. I think this was the first time I was really happy watching myself on screen.
You were not.
I'm
You
very
were.
critical when I watch myself on screen.
Are you serious? Because you didn't. That means, from what you say, I kind of understand that you didn't quite like watching yourself on screen in Dangal,
Yeah, but I
paired
like
opposite
point
Amir.
it out. Like I'm very critical. तो कुछ ना कुछ ढूंढ ही लेती हूँ मैं. This is not right. I
Oh,
could have
अच्छा.
done this better, but with this one, I'm really happy. This film makes me very proud.
Okay, the fact that the film talks about a girl who doesn't really talk much. She's an introvert. She's a reticent girl, and she's a topper in college and all of that. What?
That's the only point I couldn't relate to. That she's a topper.
Baki, you are as reticent as the character.
I am. I'm very similar to her.
Okay. So, from what I understand is the fact that the film actually delves into a lot of psychological aspects of these characters. How much of it was actually relatable to you? I mean, besides the fact it was actually portraying the character of a girl who's reticent. Besides that, I'm talking about the psychological factors,
I think
the layers. I mean,
the layers. I think he writes really well.
layer actually means something else.
Yeah, okay, but he is really good. Like it was very well written. My character or any other character, and when I first read it, when you're reading the scripts that he write, you want to like be the character or at least like have a connection with them or interact with them, and that's what happened. And to know her better, I think he was always there on set to help me out. And the actors that I worked with, obviously Nawaz and Gitanjali, Jim,
Absolutely.
they really helped me to know her better. So I think I would give the credit to Mr. Ritesh Batra.
Okay. Ritesh, on that note, I have to come back to you. On that note, I've got to come back to you. A BAFTA nominee, the recipient of a Presky Award. The fact that you have. Oh, come on!
No, I didn't know about this award.
It's for your short film, Cairo.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's okay.
Yeah.
He just got it. Doesn't
Have you
quite
seen
know.
that? Have you seen that? You should watch it. It's good.
Okay. So.
Oh, how modest.
Yeah. Exactly. How
It's only
modest.
10 minutes.
All right. Okay. So Ritesh,
Watch it tonight when you go.
the fact
And
that
everybody else too.
the fact that you
It's
have.
on Vimeo.
Yeah, I know that. I've seen the film. All right. The fact that you're not quite alien to the international film circuit. How does that part of the world and this part of the world relate or connect in terms of filmmaking and the business part of it?
Well, the thing is that the business is the same everywhere in many
Absolutely.
ways. In many ways, it's the same everywhere. How it's different.
How it's different? How does it connect vis-a-vis the international market and the Indian scenario?
Well, I think the way it connects is just through people. It's a very the thing is that this business is very relationship driven everywhere. In terms of getting things made, in terms of getting people to read your writing, in terms of getting things in front of people, it's very relationship driven. So most often I have found that if I want something done or I want something to happen, it's usually the relationships that I've built over 5 years or 10 years.
Oh, I see.
But I spent a lot of my 20s trying to get a movie made. So I learned a lot from that whole experience. But no, I feel like the business, honestly, I feel like the business is the same everywhere. It is a relationship-driven business. It's also a talent-driven business. It's about good material is very rare. So, and usually you find out if you have good material in your hands based on how people are reacting to it. The people who read it, the people who greenlight it, the actors, they're always a good indicator. But yeah, I feel like
when you talk about actors,
that answers your question.
Yeah, it does, obviously. But the fact that you spoke about actors, you have actually worked with, in the Indian repertoire and the international circuit as well. You've worked with Jane Fonda, you've worked with Robert Redford, and, all of these wonderful, wonderful actors. So what difference and what are the commonalities that you find in the actors of the international diaspora and the Indian scenario?
I mean, that's a tough question to answer because every actor is different.
Absolutely.
Every person is different. But I found a lot of similarities too. Sometimes when I'm working with someone, like when I worked with Charlotte Rampling, it was just after I had worked with Irfan on Lunchbox, and I could see in many ways, they are very similar souls as people. Everything comes from a really deep place, and everything comes from I'm sure, though I've never asked them each the question, but I'm sure each of them has read the script that we are or the scenes we are working with hundreds of times. That's something I could tell. And everything comes from a place of instinct as well as a place of deep preparation and study. And they've each had found their ways into the material, through specific scenes or moments in the movie. And then they just let it grow from there. But I see sometimes when I see those similarities, it's really nice. I feel like working with Irfan in some ways had prepared me to work with Charlotte, and hopefully vice versa, because I would love to work with Irfan again. But then again, each person is different, and I find it a real pleasure to steal from great actors and enrich the part. Like, so when Sanya came on board the movie and Nawaz came on board the movie, I think the movie became better because they brought themselves to it.
Sanya, you tell me, the fact that, I kind of read an interview of yours somewhere. Okay. The fact, I've read one of your interviews where you state that for preparing for this role, I kind of used to write in the nitty-gritties of the character. I mean, things that were not really told to me. I could figure that entire, psychology of that person and, take it down in my notebook so that I could refer. Those were my reference points. So, I mean, how were you so sure of the fact that, agar ye aadmi agar aisa hai, I mean, for instance, the girl that you're playing, if she is the reticent girl, she will be thinking this particular strain, or that was just what you made up? I mean, it was just
to develop a backstory. I think I learned that from
Gitanjali. Yeah.
Because I remember we had a small workshop at his place, and she was telling him how her character might like a certain song. Do you remember that day?
Yeah.
And he told me that, Sanya, you should also do something like this with Meloni, and that's what I did, and that's what I've been doing for all my characters now, and I think that really helps me.
Okay. Anything more?
I don't know. I hope it shows on screen.
Oh, of course it does. It does.
I don't know if it's working or not.
No, it surely is. Okay. My final question to you, Sanya, is the fact that you have been a part of these wonderful, wonderful films. What are your future plans? And I mean, obviously, you can't really say that if I am going to work with this film, this film or with this director, but still, I mean, do you have anything etched for yourself? No.
I have stopped making future plans.
Yeah, this is exactly the same thing that you said when I asked you. How was your parents' reaction to everything? The fact that suddenly you've catapulted into this huge star?
They're very happy.
I mean, can they believe
very
it?
excited.
Can they believe it? Are they excited? How do they react?
They are very, very excited. My father still has the pen drive full of ads that I have done, and then he keeps showing other people. He calls it, and he has it attached to our television, and he calls it Sanya TV. So it has my songs, my interviews,
Wow.
my ads. So that's really sweet. But yeah, I hope they're happy. But I'm happy that they're happy.
Okay. Where do you see Indian cinema vis-a-vis the world cinema?
You know, we've always had great movies coming out of India. Movies of Gurudutt, you know, there's very few
obviously.
comparisons.
Gurudutt, Raj Kapoor, Kamal Amrohi,
Satyajit Ray, you know, I mean, so we've always had good movies coming out of India, great films coming out of India. And I think we're very blessed to have a huge local market, a huge local audience. Very few countries have that. And that's something to be taken advantage of. And you know, I feel like last year was such a great year. I remember when Lunchbox came out in 2013, 2014, and it did well. I was very surprised and pleased. But then, you know, I also know that one film can't do anything.
Absolutely.
One film doesn't change anything. But last year there were so many films that were made at, you know, reasonable budgets and did really well. And that was really nice to see. As far as where Indian cinema stands vis-a-vis world cinema, I don't think that's important. I think it's what's important is that everybody's doing good work, and you know, some people are making movies just for the local audience, and some people are trying to make movies for an international audience, and I think both things are important, and both things should happen together.
Okay, my final question to you, Ritesh, is as a filmmaker, you know, I mean, in your previous films as well, and most of the films that you've directed, I have kind of seen all of them. I could kind of find that there is a constant usage of silence, for that matter. So do you rely on silence being a more powerful and more potent expression than the spoken word?
I don't know. You know, I think it depends on the characters, on how you know, how expressive they are. But you know, do find that if you have silences that you can earn, not silences for no reason, then the things that are said, they become more important. But that's, you know, that's just something that it's always true. You know, it's not. It's not a discovery I made.
Absolutely.
But it's just something that you know, I'm happy to steal and use.
Okay. On that note, you've got to tell me who's your favorite filmmaker.
Who's my favorite filmmaker in the whole world? Ever?
Yeah.
I think that would have to be Louis Malle.
Okay, I see.
And my favorite movie in the whole world is Murmurs of the Heart.
Okay.
That hasn't changed in a while. I can answer.
Even with
that's the easiest question that you asked.
All right. So with that, we come to the end of this lovely conversation with the beautiful Sanya Malhotra and the wonderful director, Mr. Ritesh Batra. My name is Sandeep, Hindustan Times Online, Desi Martini.